Just over a week after the carnal knowledge trial of former Sydney schoolteacher Chris Dawson began, witnesses have finished giving evidence. The court has heard from a range of witnesses, including former school students and a police detective, as well as Dawson's accuser. Ruby Cornish has been following the trial and joins us now. So Ruby, give us an overview of what we've heard over the course of the trial.
G'day, Ros. Well, in this trial, the prosecution is alleging that Chris Dawson began engaging in sexual activity with a complainant known as AB when she was his 16-year-old PE student, and he's been charged with one count of carnal knowledge with a girl over the age of 10 and under the age of 17. Now, Dawson, who is already in prison serving a 24-year sentence for the murder of his first wife, Lynette Sims, doesn't deny that he and this student did engage in sexual activity, but says it began later when she was 17 years old. He also doesn't deny many of the incidents that we've heard alleged over the course of this trial, but timing is everything. He disputes some of the details in some of these recollections, but essentially says that all of them happened when AB was 17 and of legal age. We're talking about an alleged incident that happened, Ros, 44 years ago. That's a very long time, and so lots of the witnesses, haven't been able to pinpoint exact dates from their recollections. They say it was just so long ago because many of them were 15, 16 years old at the time. The main group of witnesses that we've heard from through this trial have been former students, including students who went to the school where Chris Dawson taught. We heard from one former student that AB was seen as being a bit of a celebrity in the playground and was often seen in the company of Chris Dawson. Another former student who was a junior at the school told a story about opening Chris Dawson's office one day to see AB sitting on the desk and Chris Dawson standing between her legs. There's also an incident alleged to have occurred at Linfield High School swimming pool after hours, in which AB and Chris Dawson were allegedly very close and touching. And of course, we've heard from the complainant herself, AB, talking about the first time she alleges that she and Chris Dawson engaged in sexual activity. She said that happened some days or weeks after their first kiss at his parents' home when his parents weren't there, and that after that, sexual activity between the two ramped up and would occur in places like his car, in his office at school, and also at his home while his wife was there asleep. Now, the defence has been cross-examining many of these witnesses and challenging them on their recollections. And as I said, it's really about the timeline. So getting them to try and pinpoint exactly when they saw and heard these things, which is going to be the main issue in this case, Ros.
In the trial, and Ruby. So what happens next in this trial, Ruby?
Now that these witnesses have finished giving their testimony, that concludes the evidence in the trial. Next Tuesday, there will be some closing statements delivered by the prosecution and the defence. And after that, Justice Sarah Huggett will retire to consider her verdict. Our viewers will remember Chris Dawson's murder trial last year. That was a very drawn-out affair. The trial itself went for about 9 weeks. And when the judgment was delivered, that was a 5 or 6 hour judgment. So this is a much more condensed case, but it will be up to Justice Huggett to determine when she decides to come back and deliver her verdict.
Ruby, thank you.